Hello, how you all doing? So I'm just gonna, hopefully you can hear me. If you can hear me, just type in the comments bit, just so I know that it's all coming through all right. So I'm just gonna wait a little while till people join me. But yeah, if you can hear me fine, then definitely just say, I can hear you. Brilliant. Cheers, Barry. So yeah, guys, thanks for joining. This is also getting recorded. It is, yeah, cool. So I'm just going to give it like few minutes, and then we'll just, brilliant. Nice to see you, Heather. So yeah, I think we've got about 50 people registered, so should be fair few people coming on. So I'm just going to give it 5 minutes so it gives enough time. I think most people would have just got my message from a chatbot, so that should be kicking in a minute, I would have thought. So the plan with this is I've got a little presentation, of course, to show you guys. And yeah, at the end of it, there is an offer. I'm not going to lie, of course there is. But what the masterclass itself will actually show you quite a lot, really. There's a lot of fundamental stuff which most people miss out, which is very, very important to understand. Because if you don't understand this bit, then your actual Facebook ads or whatever advertising you're doing just doesn't work that well. But yeah, it's going to be good. So in the sense, like what I'm going to cover is go through some basic stuff, and then I'll go into my ads manager and show you a few things, and then basically, yeah, and then I can show you my little offer at the end. But you know, I'd rather be honest with you guys from the start, so you know exactly what you're getting into. And then yeah, it'll probably last about 60 minutes, the whole thing. So maybe a little bit long, but don't worry if you miss anything, because there will be a replay as well. So, because I know I've had quite a few message me saying they can't make it, so it is getting recorded. But I wanted to say thanks to most of you who replied to my chatbot and said what your number one problem is, and I put them questions in here, so I will answer them for you as well. So cool. So I'm just going to give it a few more minutes. I'm going to just switch my video off for now, so don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. And then I'll put this back up in a second. So. So I'll be starting in, say, 3 minutes time. So it just gives enough people to jump on. Yeah, Barry, that's a good point. Starting soon picture would be good. Actually, let me see if I can put one sec. What I'll do is share my screen so you guys can see it as well. So, right. So, just going to give it a couple more minutes. Okay, guys. So Right, I'm going to start in 1 minute now, so don't worry. So guys, let me know, how's your day going? I mean, since we're just waiting for a little bit, you guys all at work, or are you waiting, or are you, what is it that you guys are doing? Cool. All right then, guys. Well, let's get this started. So, okay, so what this masterclass is basically about is showing you about Facebook ads, of course. But then also you need to, I'm going to run through exactly what the agenda is. And then, of course, I'm going to go through a little bit about myself, because I know there's quite a lot of new people on there as well. So it's a little bit about myself, just so you understand as to, you know, who am I really, and why I can actually show this kind of stuff, and, you know, just gives you a better understanding. Don't worry, I'm not going to just go on about myself or anything like that. It's just a quick little bit. And then after that, what it is I'm going to go through the understanding what you need to understand, and then I'm going to cover my tap system as well, which you guys should understand, and then yeah, go through them bits. So, well, actually, the agenda is here. So, right, and then yeah, of course, then I'm going to go through a bit about you know, writing copy and ad copy. There's a couple of examples I'm going to show you. And then about pixels, retargeting, more about retargeting than pixels, but I'll explain what pixels are and why you should need it, really. And then there's some questions I'm going to answer at the end. So that's the agenda anyway. So, right, so let me take myself out so this doesn't get distracting. So, right, so who am I? So, well, my name's Swapnil, so it's a pleasure to meet you. So I've been actually doing digital marketing for quite a long time now, really. I started it in my old, in my body shop, which I had, which was a car repair center. So basically what it was is I did that for 7 years, close to 7 years. But the last few years of it was where I started learning about digital marketing, because basically, I'll be honest with you, I was getting no leads. I was struggling really badly, and I wasn't sure what to do. And this is like 2013, around that time. And of course, the internet has changed a lot now compared to what it was then. But what I found was I needed to learn something. I did a lot of research at that time, came across like Ryan Dice and people, big players in the marketing space now. And someone approached me, and well, I approached someone, and he showed me how Google AdWords worked, and he made a little funnel for me. And if you understand what funnels are, basically, he kind of made like a little system for me that just ridiculously worked so well. So that's where I got hooked, and that's where I started learning it. And then I sold my body shop, and I was like, look, I'm going to get into digital marketing. So, but it wasn't a straight. I didn't get in there straight away. I started working with a property investor, and then started doing his marketing. Then after that, I started my own letting agency, which is like managing houses. And then from there, I started my own lead generation consultancy. And last year, I started my own agency where we grew it quite rapidly to 43 clients. And that was mainly in the fitness niche and health and wellness. So we did a lot of ad spending there. And now, of course, I teach this, do public speaking, coaching. I'll be honest with you, something I enjoy a lot, just because people have been getting great results. So, but I still got my agency as well, so I learned a lot of new things. So moving on, so this is me at my body shop. There's me just learn. One of the biggest things that I learned was that you need to hang around with people who are much ahead of you. So I started hanging around with these guys, started doing their courses, started going to their events, learning from them really. And then I started doing I started doing my own courses, but this is where I was working with a property investor, getting on stage and helping people. So, but it wasn't a straight line as what you'd think. You know, I had to learn a lot and test a lot, and but yeah, when you got these people next to you, you know, you learn very quickly. So this is when I started going on stage and started teaching people. When one of the biggest things that I learned was that if you show people and teach people, then you learn a lot of things yourself as well. So this is why I'll be honest, I used to shit myself before going on this stage. It's not exactly the kind of thing I do, but obviously I find it a lot easier now. But I realized is when I started teaching people, I would have little brainwaves of new ideas and things, and writing copy would, it was very good for market research because I'd understand what people's pain points were. So yeah, anyway, that's enough about me. Told you it's just going to be quick. I just want you to know that the stuff you're learning from me is not like something that it's not that I started an agency like 6 months ago, or I've just got I've only tested it with like 1 or 2 clients or something. So yeah, I've done it for quite a while now. So right, Facebook ads. I'm going to go through some bit of basic stuff. If you're further ahead already, then this is just a recap for you. But I need everyone to understand this, is that Facebook ads are just amazing. I keep saying to people is that they just don't realize what a golden age this is, because there is no form of marketing out there that allows you to do this. This is why I like Facebook a bit more than Google and stuff, is that you can go really granular on the actual target audience. So this is why whenever someone does coaching with me or anything that kind of stuff, the first thing we ever do is go through who the client is. Pick one person, find out the age, demographics and all that kind of stuff. So that's one of the biggest things I would say to you, is that work out who you want as your favorite client. Pick your favorite client and just start doing some research about them. And then, this is where you'll be able to fill it out on your Facebook ad itself. So you can target people specifically on areas, postcodes, zip codes, whichever one you call it. And, you can be very, if you get this bit right, you're targeting and you understand who they are. You see the bottom bit where here it says detailed targeting. This is where you can actually put things such as what kind of magazines they like. That's a really good one, a magazines one. What kind of things they enjoy. It's your ad will go in front of your perfect audience then. And then it's just a matter of you having the right offer. One thing that I see a lot of people saying, Facebook ads just don't work for me. It's no one's taking it up on my offers and stuff. It's because you're either you got your targeting wrong, or the other thing is that your offer is just too generic, or it's just not appealing enough. The best way I always describe it is you need to have your offer as a jaw-dropping offer. So this is for Facebook. People are scrolling through their phone. They're not actually out there looking for something, it's not like Google. If you go in Google when you've got some kind of pain, you've got pain in your back, or you need you need to get a pest controller or something like that. It's a different kind of marketing altogether. And Facebook is people are scrolling through, so you need to grab their attention very, very quickly, and it needs to be a really good offer. Because the reason why I call that it needs to be jaw dropping is because if someone looks at it, they should be able to go, wow, that's an awesome offer, I want it. That's how you need to approach Facebook ads. But most people say to me, oh yeah, I'm going to lose a lot on the front end. I can't give away things. I mean, this is where you need to understand marketing is about getting people in on a really low price first. Get them to enjoy what your service is, who you are. People buy from people in the day. Like for me, I'm doing this because I'm giving you value. I'm not going to lie, in the day I'd love you to be my client. But if I don't do this first thing, you're never going to come in and think of me as a client, or you're not going to think of me as a coach or any of that kind of way. So it's very, very important to understand that your offer is very, very important at the start. It's what people will experience from you. So that's a big thing that you need to approach. And then once you get it right, you've got like a predictable machine. So what do I mean by this? This is where I think one of the questions was asked. I put it a bit further on, but I'll answer it now. It's to do with budgets. One of the biggest things is that you need to understand how much your lead is costing you and how much is your lifetime value for customers. So what does lifetime value mean? Lifetime means is that, okay, for example, if someone comes onto a coaching program or whatever it is, say for example is £5,000 or dollars, whichever it is, then that's the lifetime value because that's your kind of package. But if you're doing it as a monthly thing, then say if you're doing, £50 a month and they stick with you for 6 months, and the lifetime value is £300. So that's how you work it out. And then you need to think of, okay, how do I work out my ad budget? You're basically saying, okay, how much are you prepared to spend to get that £300 or £5,000 customer? Most of the times, you know, this is how you beat your competition, is you will go, okay, I would spend £1,000 on an ad to if I knew I was going to get a £5,000 customer. Now, if you put it in that sense, there are many people who will not, who won't even think about spending £1,000 on an ad to get one person. Now, if I spend £1,000 on getting one person, then do you think it's very likely that I'm going to get more than one person? I would say so. You know, I'm pretty sure I'd get more than one. If I get two, you know, brilliant. I'm more than likely will get more than that. But this is how you work it out, and this is where you go into your when you realize, okay, this is how I do my ad budgets and that kind of thing. And this is just an overview, but this is a really good good place to start and to understand. You know, okay, I'm prepared to spend, say, £200 or whichever it is, then split it out in the days, or it doesn't matter which way you do it. But as long as you know what your threshold is, then you know, okay, is my marketing working or is it not? Why, if it's not working, then you need to go back and have a look at your offer or look at your landing page or whichever method that you're using. So does that make sense? Before I move on, if you let me know in the chat that it does, great, cool. Yeah, because at the end of the day, I think this is very important to understand, is that if you don't know your lifetime value of your customer, then you can't move ahead with your marketing, because it just feels like you're just wasting money. You just don't know how much you're spending, how much should you spend. And this, I can guarantee your competition doesn't do this, because they're just putting £5 a day, and they don't know really if they're working or not. So, and they don't know what level they can go at. So very, very important to do. So moving on. So first bit, this is my system. I call it the TAP system. Why do I call this? Is basically, it's like there's a diagram actually next. Is this? It's like having a pipeline. This is what we all want, a pipeline of customers. But the reason why I call it a tap, because in the day, once you got it right, the water will just go all the way through. And but there are some blocking stages and blocking bits in here. So a lot of people out there say, yeah, I'll do Facebook ads and all that kind of stuff. Okay, Facebook ads is great. If you're good at that, that's good. Don't get me wrong. But that is only one part of this. You know, you need to make sure that you have a sales mechanism. You need to make sure you have it, you know, like the landing page. Where is it that they're going? If you're sending someone to your website, it's probably not the best place to send them, because there are too many bleeding points. When I say bleeding points, I mean like there's too much stuff like home, about services, and all that kind of thing. You want a page where it's just like, here's the offer. Do you want it or do you don't want it? That's it. Otherwise, you're just going to waste your ad spend. Lead magnets is basically, you know, like how I was saying a minute ago, you need to get someone into your world on a very low budget or for free. A lead magnet is that. So, for example, who in here has downloaded a PDF or a checklist or anything like that from Facebook? You know, you're scrolling across. If you have, just say yes in the chat for me, so at least I know you guys are listening. All right, great. Yeah, so I mean, this is the reason why people do it, is that you need to make it's how you get someone into your world, and it's a very, very fundamental step, because most people forget about this or just leave it out. Is the best way I can describe this is that if you have a PDF or a checklist, think about how long does it take someone to go through that. It's a couple of minutes, not even that. If someone sees that on an ad, they know, oh yeah, it's not going to take too much of my time. I'll probably get a few golden nuggets. Yeah, it would be great. But now think of the other way, where some people are putting like a webinar as the first thing. Most people know a webinar is like going to be at least 60 minutes long. For example, let me ask you this question. If you can just type in a yes in the chat as well, is you've heard of me before, haven't you? Before you came on here? Yes or no, would you say? Yeah. So like, I'm not actually doing this kind of webinar, kind of masterclass to someone that has never heard of me? Because it doesn't make sense. It's because that they don't know you yet. They don't have that trust with you. They don't know what kind of results you've done. There's so many factors, and this is one of the big things. Don't get me wrong, like doing a webinar at the front end can work as well. I know there's many people that do teach that, but I've found that from my experience is if you need to get someone into your world first, let them experience who you are, see a little bit about you, and like one of the things that I'd like to be upfront with you guys is that for the next few days or so, once my ads go live, you're going to start seeing retargeting ads from me. But it's not retargeting ads like in the sense of, hey, buy my shit kind of stuff. It's actually just giving value, showing you stuff about, hey, this is how I learned Facebook marketing. This is all the shitty things I've had to go through. You know, that kind of thing. People need to understand and experience, like, okay, understand your story. Your story is such a big thing. And the way you do give it is that you first start with a lead magnet. Traffic source, this is the Facebook ad bit. So as you can see, it's just one part of the 5. Target market, I've already just covered that with you, where you need to understand your market first and just pick that one person. And the landing page and mechanism. Mechanism can be a webinar. Landing page is where they sign up. So that kind of gives you a rough idea as to what the tap system is. But it's very, very important that you get this, because if you don't understand, if you don't get your first bit right, then none of this is going to work. And this is where most people go wrong, is that they don't hone into who they're targeting, and then they go, oh, my ads are not working. But it's because you've not done the first step. So basically, I've got a few diagrams that kind of explains it, but you just need a green light in all of them. And then once that's working, that's where you have an automated system. And this is what the holy grail for everyone is. It's like, I want a tap of like basically clients every day where I just put my ads on and they come through. This is how you get it working. You know, this is how you can get people coming through, and they'll see your offer, they'll say yes, and they'll take you up. So works really, really good. So this is more a little bit basic kind of stuff, but this, everyone forgets about this so much, is yes, they understand, okay, what are cold leads, warm leads, hot leads. Cold basically means it's someone that's never heard of you. Warm is that where they might have seen a couple of videos, and hot is when they have actually experienced, you know, at least 20 minutes to 30 minutes of content. That doesn't mean in one shot. It can be split out. So your job is basically, as a lead generation person, is, or at the end of the day, we're all in a lead generation person, really, because that's what you want to do for your business. You're trying to do is get someone from aware all the way to most aware. Most of the time you'll find is that people hover around this area in the middle here, product aware, solution aware. There's a guy called Gene Schwartz. You should definitely read his book. It's just an amazing book. It explains this so well. And every marketer, like really good marketer, knows about that book. So if you've never heard of it, definitely go and check that book out. But this is, he talks about this. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to get, like, I know you must be thinking, okay, what's this got to do with Facebook ads? But this has a lot to do with Facebook ads, because your Facebook ad to someone that doesn't know that they actually have that problem. Let me take example to like a chiropractor or a chiropractor, for example. So someone that doesn't, like, someone who has backache obviously knows that, yeah, they're a bit more aware. So they'll be a bit more further down the line. But someone who hasn't had backache yet, he's been, like, for example, I'll say for myself, I know for a fact I'm going to get backache at some point because this chair is so shit. And I actually know that, but it's just I know this, it doesn't support my back properly. But right now, I'm not thinking about it. I know this chair's all right for me right now. It's not going to do anything. So I'm not like problem aware yet. But if I start seeing ads where they're actually not trying to sell me stuff, but they're saying, hey, did you know if you sit on your chair this way, that way it prevents you from getting things later on. Now, this is how you're capturing people early on. You can have that as an advert, so it's not like an advert has to be, you have to buy my stuff all the time. Buying the stuff is later on once they get to know you. And this is where everyone goes, is their Facebook ad is always like, hey, 10% off, 15% off. Firstly, that's not a jaw-dropping offer. Secondly, they don't know you yet. or if they do know you, yet the offer is just not good enough, you know. So it could be one of the things. So you need to think of this. What the best way is to sit down and go, okay, which stage of the awareness level am I aiming at? Who am I after? Is it someone that actually knows that they need martial arts, or they need to sort their child out because he's just being a little shit? Or do they need to or is it that someone that's already got backache? Then is it your ad is going to be like, hey, have you got this problem? Then they'll go, yes. They'll know of the product, and then you put that offer. But this bit here at the back, I'll show you another diagram in a minute, which actually explains this even more. This is where your money is at. Your money is in the back end here. So, but the way you do it is that you need to have some kind of bribe or offer. You're targeting the top people, which is the awareness, and this is where you need to have like some kind of offer to get them. Best way I describe it is be a fisherman, not a hunter, because everyone's out there trying to hunt in the sense of like, I need clients, I need this, I need that. You're out there shouting, going to networking and all that kind of stuff. That doesn't work that well. I mean, don't get me wrong, networking, local networking does. I'm not going to dish it because my old business was all built around that. But especially with the way the things are now, we have so many tools compared to what I did like 10 years ago or 7 years ago. You can use the internet so wisely and so cleverly. It's like, just put something out there that's going to attract your person. This is where that lead magnet comes in. So it's very, very important. I'm not going to cover this because that'll just confuse you. But basically, as a very simple thing, simple always works. Everyone tries to complicate stuff. So you have your Facebook ad, your opt-in page is something that they need, something that they want or they're interested in. And then the thank you page is basically saying, hey, thanks. Or you can have a video on here and you can get them into your Facebook group or take them somewhere or just nurture them more. And then, you got their details, give them a call. Everyone's so scared of getting someone on the call. That is where the telephone and the mobile, whichever way you want to call it, is not out of fashion. It's still the number one way to close clients, and it always will be, because people get to hear you, they have questions and all that kind of stuff. So use this cleverly. I know this is a very simple image, but you get the idea. But just don't overcomplicate stuff. So before I start moving into ad copy and stuff and things, but I just want to know, does anyone have any questions regarding that? Does that make sense? Do you understand? You might already know this, but do you understand as to why you need to have different kind of ads? If you do, just say yes, or if you don't, say no. Okay, great. And if you don't, do let me know, because I'll cover it more. I don't mind at all. Cool. So this is very, very important. This is where you need to have in this stage. If you look at this, you probably have 5 different ads. And most people are always talking about just one ad. You can actually do one ad where it's, for example, if I wanted to take someone from this unaware to all the way to most aware, I could do like a video ad where I actually literally cover all these points, and I'll start from someone who's unaware, and then I can cover all these things. But that's a more advanced strategy. I wouldn't really worry about that. Just think about where is your customer right now. What level of awareness do they have? And it will completely change the way you do marketing, really. So ads. I know most of you guys have probably come on here to like, okay, how do I actually do good ads? So now you understand, okay, what kind of ad to write. You need to know this as well. So I'm going to cover like, how do you do this? I mean, you see here, this is what generally people say, Facebook ads don't work. It's because you don't have a click-worthy ad. Your photo, the picture is very, very important. It's what stops people. And it's like a lot of people have just this kind of ad where it's just like one line, doesn't really say anything. It's not a really good way to do it. So what I'd say to you, this is like a really quick way, is having these 6 steps. So maybe you want to write this down, but you have like your first bit needs to call out the audience. You need to, because you need to understand they don't know who you are, and they need to know that you're in their area. You need to call out the pain point. You need to say, look, what is it exactly that their pain is? You need to actually put that in front of them. And then you come on to the where the, you know, what the offer is, and scarcity. Scarcity is very important because, and don't lie about scarcity, you know, just make sure it is true. And the image needs to be something clear. And then of course here, just repeat what the offer is. If you get that right, your ad copy will do well. Just make sure that it's aimed to the right audience. But one of the biggest things is call out their pain points. So moving on, so next thing is pixels and retargeting. So does anyone know what pixels are? Let me know in the chat. Just say yes or no. Then I'll know what kind of, how much to explain. If you, yes. Okay, cool. All right, brilliant. So pixels, of course, is, and I think it's an untapped market in the sense. So it's just a piece of code that Facebook, you actually have pixels all across. So Google has its own one, Pinterest has its own one, you know, but we're obviously talking about Facebook here. So you use your Facebook pixel code. So they give you a code and then you drop it into your website. And what it does is that, say, for example, someone comes to your website. You can do it on your website, and what I'd say is do it on your landing pages. And then whenever someone's landed onto a specific page, you know the reason why they've come on there. And then you would send them an advert relating to that page, what it is. So an example, so like Barry, you're saying not sure, but basically what it is say you have an offer. I know you do martial arts, so you have an offer where it's like, hey, come and get this 1 week free trial. So that would be this bit here, and someone would say, I would go on that site, I'd click on it, and then I would be pixeled. So now I don't fill in the details. I go away, and next thing, you can set up an ad because I'm pixeled now. So the ad can be, hey, don't forget, you can still get the 1 week offer. Why does this work? Is because you need to understand where most people are on their phones. So they can be either traveling, they can be somewhere, you don't know where they are. So they might have just literally just seen your ad and thought, okay, yeah, oh, that looks great. I'll get that later. But how many times do we do that? We forget so much. So this is why retargeting works so well. So I know there's a few women on here. So generally, like if you're looking at shoes and things, then, you know, you'd go on Facebook and you'd be like having that shoe follow you around, you know? So it's that kind of stuff. But the reason why is that no one buys from you straight away. This links into this bit here very well, is most people are trying to do an ad to try getting this 3%. It's only 3% of people are ready to purchase now. Pixeling and retargeting gets this other bit coming in. So because, like, for example, I spoke to someone, I had someone sign up yesterday, and he's been following me for 1.5 years. He wasn't ready then, but the thing is, I started seeing my retargeting ads, and he understood that I knew my stuff. It's just timing. You know, sometimes timing is not right for people, but you don't need to leave them out. You know, the way you do it is you put them into your retargeting stack. You put them into, but the way you do it is through pixels. And you need to understand, like, the 3% is where most people are trying to do their ads. You need to make sure that you incorporate all this other bit. So if you look at this, you know, 30% here, 30, there's quite a lot, you know, so not thinking about it. They think that they aren't interested, but, you know, sometimes you need to show them the reason why. Like, for example, Facebook ads is amazing. You know, someone has never thought about using Facebook ads, you know, they're not going to buy straight away. You know, for example, or they're never going to invest in themselves in the sense, look, I'll put a Facebook ad out there if you don't know if it's going to work for you. So this is how you need to educate. So this bottom bit is where, you know, say, for example, the top bit is like an offer ad. The middle bit would be like educational stuff. You need to educate people. Once someone learns something from you, they know that you know your stuff, which you do. Of course, you're not going to teach it if you don't. And then that's how they'll gradually go up the funnel in a sense. So that's like the fundamental kind of stuff, you know. It's just it might be a bit basic, but a lot of people forget about this. And it's like, this is where, if you know, people don't know is, okay, why should you be retargeting, what should you be retargeting, all that kind of stuff. So this should hopefully help you and let you understand as to why you need to do this. So before I go into like showing you the back end of stuff, so there were a few questions that people sent to me earlier. So I thought it'd be good to just go over this. So one of the questions is, I need to set myself targets to be posting or advertising every day. So I presume the question here is, you know, what do I need to be doing every day? There is no right or wrong answer to this. The best way I can say is like, do what you can. But you should have content out there, because that's how you will get people to go through this bit in the middle to come and buy from you. So, you know, the best way is for me to say is, you know, just post, post anything, whatever you can, as long as you're getting in front of them. But in the day, as long as you're doing a 1 to 2 at least per day, then that will help you a lot. So next question. I think some of my ads do okay, but it's probably still the basics with me. Understanding the reach, etc. Also, sometimes I've seen my ad may be too specific. Well, you need to understand here is like with Facebook ads is reach and things like that. It's don't get bogged down in the sense of what is my reach, what is my thing. Impressions is a good one to look at. Impressions basically means is if I actually go in here. See what's on it, but you know, if you're looking at impressions, impressions is basically showing people they've seen something from you, you know, in X, you know, whichever. This is an ad account that I don't really use too much, so I'll show you. So in here is impressions. So if I was to say, like, for example, say this was an ad, 12,000 impressions. That's basically saying, look, people, that's someone that actually seen me shitloads of times, basically. And reach, I wouldn't worry too much as long as these are high figures and you're getting in front of your people. This is where you need to make sure that your targeting is right and you're actually putting content in front of the right people. Then that's how you will get people to actually go up this little pyramid, you know. So they will gradually start to get to know, like, and trust you. So that's the easiest way I can say. Being specific is actually good, because it means that you are being, you know, this is where you need to be specific on who you're trying to target. You know, don't try just having one ad for everyone. That doesn't always work. So hopefully that answers your question. So converting to paying customers as free trials. Okay, so basically, how do you convert customers? So this is where it's more to do with if you're putting enough content in front of people, you will find that your sales process will be a lot easier. So, you know, if you're trying to just put free trials out and they've not actually seen, or, you know, they've not seen much content from you, you'll find that it is harder to get to sell them, because they don't know enough about you. They don't know who you are. They don't know what journey you've been on. That bit is very important for people to understand, is the human touch. So, you know, if you want to convert people, that's what I would say, is that you need to make sure that you're consistently in front of them with good content, not like content that isn't really working. So next one is, I haven't done any marketing, but would love to know what Facebook marketing is. Okay, so Facebook marketing, I mean, that's a very broad question. Facebook marketing itself is, it works pretty much in every industry I've seen. One of the biggest things that I get told, people who are just using LinkedIn all the time. It's funny when they say to me that B2B and stuff like that doesn't work on Facebook. Well, I think they're wrong, because it's like, how many people on Facebook? They lost 2 billion, with some ridiculous number. So I think it's very likely that their customer is going to be on there. It's just that, how do you get people into your world? It's like I showed you earlier. You need to have a good lead magnet. You need to have something that hooks people into your world. And what types of products? Products, you know, I've seen all kinds of products work. You know, if it's like, you know, physical products, digital products, webinars, coaching, everything. You know, there's no, I wouldn't say there's anything that it doesn't work on Facebook. It's just that you need to understand how to market to them and what you're marketing to them. So I know that doesn't exactly answer your question, but I don't think there's anything that you can't do on Facebook, to be honest. I just don't get a great deal of response and find the whole thing way too complicated. So reason for that is that because they don't really know you yet, or your ad copy is not calling out the pain points, or you need to just basically just give them more value, give them more things that they will know, which will be helpful for them. So that's how you'll start to generate more response, and having retargeting ads going. That would be very, very helpful for you. So yeah, this was the budget one. So when setting a budget to spend on ads, is it best to use in a short or longer space of time? And how is best to track results from your ads? So to do it short term, long term, it doesn't really matter. But the thing is that if your ad is working, then I would leave that on all the time. But with budgets, is that you can gradually increase your budget, but you need to make sure you do it in small increments. But you know, sometimes the reason why people put a big budget at the start is to get data. It's all about data. If the data shows that the ad is converting, then you would increase the budget. You know, you'd either duplicate it or just kind of carry on increasing it. And how best to track results? I mean, there are many ways. In Facebook, there are ways that they give you in the back end of like. Let me see here if it shows. You know, like obviously messaging, most people know that, but there is ways to set it where it shows you how many leads you're getting, and you know, this is where you need to know. Look, this, for example, this was just a random thing. It was costing me £6 per message, which was quite high for them. But you need to understand this kind of stuff is in the back end, but you can actually set it up. It's a bit too techie for me to get into that now specifically, because there are many different ways. You know, there's lead forms, there's like using ClickFunnels pages, there's using you know, the Facebook tools that they give you. But you need to have that set. Once you know that, then that's when you know how much budget to spend. So yeah, there's a question in the chat. 1 second. Okay, I make customized products. Most of the Facebook ads examples are for service coach teachers. I get confused as to how to set up the ads set in the most optimal manner. So specifically, this is so like e-com kind of related, I suppose. So if you're making customized products, what kind of products, if you don't mind me asking, Heather? What you need to understand is that you need to figure out who your target market is. And you need to find the people who actually like that kind of stuff. And then you just need to put it in front of them. So ad set wise, you just need to do, this is like doing e-com and things like that. This is where you need to do interest targeting. So the thing which I showed you earlier, like local business targeting, yes, it is easier, I'm not going to lie, because you don't need to do too much detailed targeting. But this bit here is where you need to like do your research and basically find interests that your target market likes. So for example, you know, your cups and keychains. So I'm not too sure about that market, so I can't really pick anything. But if I was to say, like, if I was a dentist, for example, and there's someone that's trying to sell me a dentist chair, you know, I would, the way you would target them is like, what stuff does a dentist look at? You know, it'd be like, you know, their you know, big websites, big magazines, dentists read. So the different, you need to go through these targeting lists. I'd have like 10, 20 interests, and you'd need to test each one. But you will find, that's how you'll find it, and you'll find one golden one where people start buying your stuff from it. So it is much more long-winded, but that's hopefully answers your question. This is like where this is when selling online courses is also very similar, especially when you're selling it to the world, or you're doing like training online, is that you need to go into interest targeting. So yeah, no, I'm glad that's helped you. So yeah, it's just basically you need to do market research to find out who that ideal person is and what kind of stuff do they like, and then that's how you'll find it. So hopefully that helps. Cool. So one of the things I thought would be good to show is So yeah, like, I suppose this relates to like this question is how best to track it. This is one. I won't show too much as to who it is, but I've done this kind of system. The tab system works for pretty much every market. Like a lot, I'll be honest, a lot more to do with local business marketing. But it does also work for e-com if you wanted to use it that way. But it's a different kind of market that. So this is like for a hypnotherapist. If you use like the way is like getting results. Once you start tracking, you can get really like this has got 24. How much did it cost? £4, £4 per lead. And then they go and sell them onto like a £200-300 package. So works very, very well. This is one thing that I wanted to show is like ad copy. Most people have probably realized is that their ad copy is not working that well nowadays on Facebook. Long copy like this is working very, very well. So just look into that. That will help you tremendously. So yeah, just make sure you're looking into that. So before I move on, is there any questions? Anyone stuck at what I've just kind of went through? Has it actually helped? Was there any aha moments with you? Was there anything like you found it actually helped you? So if it did, do type it and let me know. Thank you. I'm happy that it's helped you a lot. So it's just that helps me when I can see stuff like that. It helps me not understand. But if there is something that has confused you, do let me know. I've still got some time to go through stuff. So I do want to help you guys, So I know some of this is more general, but a lot of people leave this stuff out or they don't understand, it's something as simple as taking someone from a cold. Cold is like giving them content and then taking them through to buying your stuff. You need to take people on this process. It's not that you can just put an offer out. That does work, don't get me wrong. But that is where if you get an offer out, you're only targeting that 3% of people, which is a very, very small amount. What happens to the other 97%? That's what you need to do with your Facebook ads, is to make them understand all this kind of stuff. So any questions, guys? Let's see who's still on here. So yeah, hey, if you have any questions, do let me know. If there was anything that hasn't explained to you, like for example, one of the things that we did with that hypnotherapist was, we had to drill down into who the customer avatar is and, understanding who they are. And then once you got that right, then, it just works. There are people out there wanting your service. You just need to put the right thing in front of them at the right time. That's the very key thing, at the right time. So, cool. Seems like no more questions. So I'll move on. So yeah, that brings me nicely to what I said at the start. I do have something on offer for you guys. I do want to explain it to you. It is in a beta this is a beta program, so it is at half the cost as well. This is why I wanted to do it this way. It's basically, let me explain to you. It's called Clients on Demand. It's a 6-week group coaching program. So it works very well. I've just done a beta before this, which was beta. If you want, they had about 4 or 5 people go through it. And I wanted to test a few things out, and it worked very well. I've had like great results coming from people. For example, people have got like 52 leads, 61 leads. Getting 31 people to come in from £70 ad spend. Some of you guys are on my normal profile and in my group. You would have probably seen that one of the things that came through was this. Spent £300 and got £10,000 back, well, nearly £11,000 back. So this was Ed. He went through the group coaching and he's now actually signed up for it, being a one-on-one kind of thing. But is Barry, you're on here as well. But it's just it works once you understand how to write the ad copy and what kind of stuff it is. You can start getting results, and you will get to understand how to track things. This is very important. It's where people don't understand is that if you don't know how much your cost per lead is or how many leads you're getting, you'll just feel like you're just wasting your money. And that's not what Facebook ads is. Such an awesome tool. Is hopefully you've understood that now since I've showed you so much, but you need to actually have this set up in a way where you can see, okay, it's costing me £3, £4 for a lead. Okay, I've got, I don't know, 44 leads, I converted 22 into paying customers, or then that's where you can start working at conversion rates and going, okay, I know how much I can spend. I know what my budget can be. Okay, I can double, triple my budget because I made a lot of leads and a lot of sales. So that's the kind of stuff that this group coaching program goes through. To give you an idea as a breakdown, this is the kind of stuff that it will go through. And I'm not making this shit up. It is actually true. The actual value for this, if you came to me for individually to work this out and do it, this is what it would be at. Is Facebook, you get Facebook ads training, you get the fact you understand about Facebook marketing as to, like the question there earlier, when should I be putting content out? What content should I be putting out? How to automate the process, how to get leads consistently so that you don't feel like what some days are up and some days are down. You don't know what's happening. You get my Facebook ad templates. That's huge. I think it's worth much more than that. But you understand as to how to write the ads as well. So it's not just that. And you understand with the template. And then as a bonus, you get like messenger marketing, you understand about bots. I cover some of this. It's not everything, but you also do get a couple of bot templates and stuff. But the biggest thing for me is that most people out there are just selling this top bit, but this is why I think this worked so well and people got so good results, was that there's actually support. So you're actually in a Facebook group, you're in a messenger chat, and like on Zoom like this, every week we jump on and you come on and you tell me your questions and we go through what you're struggling with, and we tackle your problems basically and get you there. So, and this is easily worth that. Ed went through this and he's already made 11 grand, £11,000. So I know this stuff works. So yeah, if this is of interest for you, it is at half the cost. It is a beta program. If you do want to join this, I'm going to be honest, I only have 7 spots. It might be 6 because I was chatting to someone earlier who is on here and I'm not going to mention the name. But if you are interested, do go to this link. It's bit.ly, I'll put this in the chat. But do go to this because it's just what will happen on here is it'll just go to a what do you call it? Let me show you. It'll go to this. You just fill it out. I am a bit picky as to who I'm picking because at the end of the day it is a beta program, and I'm not just going to let you in just because I'm not here just to like sell stuff. It's not my thing. I want to help people and get awesome results. Oh, help them anyway. End of the day that. Just book a call with me, and the day we'll go through things, and I'll even help you on the call anyway. So it's not like it's just about sales. But yeah, it's half the cost. This will, after this, since this is going to be my last beta program, after this it will go to 997 because I know it's actually helping people. Is a great deal because it is worth easily 7 grand. Or the value of it definitely. But yeah, does anyone have any questions regarding this? Is there anything that doesn't make sense, or is there anything relating to this 6-week group coaching that you want to know about? Do put it in the chat. I'm happy to speak to you about it. But in general, Facebook ads works. I don't want you feeling like in the sense, it doesn't work. You just need to make sure that your copy is in sync with what your customer wants. That's very, very important. You need to understand that stuff. I'll jump on the thing here as well. So yeah, if you have any questions, do let me know. End of the day, I'm here to help. So if there's anything from the content as well, just do put it in. And if there isn't, jump on that link, book a call with me. You've got nothing to lose. End of the day, it's just a call. And then I'll know exactly if you're right fit as well. And yeah, you can take me up on these offers, on this awesome offer if you want. Cool. Doesn't seem like anyone has any questions. If there's anything relating to stuff, or if you have any question relating to your Facebook ads, if you're running a Facebook ad already, feel free to ask me in the chat. Just drop a question in there. I'll be happy to answer that for you. No questions? Okay, do let me know. Was this useful for you? Was the training content useful for you? Was there anything what stood out for you? Was there anything that you didn't know about anything? Oh, thank you. And I appreciate that. Thanks a lot. Well, guys, seems like you all enjoyed it. I know I covered some stuff. Oh yeah, one thing I didn't cover, I just remembered, is I think one of the things is retargeting. I get this asked a lot, so I thought I might as well show you guys. When you're doing retargeting in Facebook ads, what you need to be doing, you need to be creating audiences. So in this sense is like, actually I'll go to this and show you. In this audience itself, you need to be having audiences of who have liked your page, who've, you're building warm, cold, and hot audiences. And it's like basically full of people who have actually interacted with you in some way or form. Retargeting is stuff that I cover as well in that course, but it's just basically what I want you to know is that when you're setting up audiences, you need to have like, are they a warm, hot lead or whichever it is. You have things like lookalike. Basically means is like, say you have a group of people and Facebook is so powerful that it will tell you that it'll give you a bunch of other people who are exactly the same as that group. Hopefully that makes sense. It's just, say this group of people are your ideal customer here, then you can say to Facebook, look, I want them exact kind of demographics it is, exactly like the pages they like and all that kind of stuff. Then you can have retargeting. Retargeting is basically you create an audience and then you send an ad to them. That's what retargeting is. So you're making loads of different audiences of people who've done some sort of action in the sense that they've been to your website, they've watched certain videos, they've done whatever it is. Then you send them an ad, and that's how you stay in their world. Because then when they're on their phone, they just see you all the time. And it's a thing called omnipresence, which basically means is that you're everywhere, but don't be everywhere like in a bad way. Give them good content, So that's what retargeting is, and that's how you should actually set it up. So yeah, that was one key thing I forgot to mention earlier. So, but yeah, guys, if you have anything else, do let me know. It's an amazing time to be doing this. I love it because when people start getting results like this, I know this system works. The TAP system does work. It's helping a lot of people. So if you're interested, let me know. If not, no worries. You're probably in my group. You're in my chat box. So you probably see some more content. Might be not the right time for you, or whichever it is. So cool, guys. Well, if you have no more questions, I will let you all go because I did say it was going to be about 60 minutes. I'm just under 60 minutes, so I'm on time. I'm glad on that. I do value your time, so thank you very much for watching this. I know there's a lot of people watching. I think on the replay there will be a lot more people watching this. So if you're watching this on the replay, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions, just reach out to me, ask me. And if you're watching this on the replay, there'll be a button below. Just click that button and you can book a call with me. And for you guys who are with me live, thank you so much for your time. The link is there, or you can just type this in. And I look forward to seeing you guys online again soon. So have an awesome, awesome day. And thank you so much for spending time with me. So I'll speak to you soon. Take care, guys. Bye.